Welcome back to Tom Spotlight, where we cut through the noise and bring you the biggest stories shaping our world. The news cycle is moving faster than ever, and if you blink, you might miss it. Today, we've got a packed show that you absolutely cannot afford to miss. Get ready for some surprising reactions, a deep dive into a film that's defying expectations, and a look at how one author's work continues to inspire. Plus, we're unpacking all the details you need to stay ahead. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell because you're about to get the unmissable updates, right here, right now. First up, a familiar face finds himself in an unexpected moment when a past connection is brought to light. We're talking about a reaction that's got everyone talking. Then, we're shifting gears to explore a cinematic gem that's earning rave reviews for its unique storytelling and heartwarming message. We'll break down why this film is a must-see. Next, we're diving into the creative process of a renowned author and how their work is being brought to life on screen in fresh and exciting ways. And finally, we revisit that surprising celebrity encounter that's making waves. All that and more, so stick around. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a beat. A momentary freeze. Tom Hiddleston's unexpected reaction to a Taylor Swift question. In a recent podcast appearance that has sparked considerable buzz, actor Tom Hiddleston found himself in a rather unexpected situation when his former romantic interest, Taylor Swift, was brought up during a live interview. The incident occurred during a discussion for the podcast, Heart, where Hiddleston was promoting his new film, The Life of Chuck, alongside co-star Karen Gillan. The conversation, which began with the actors discussing their downtime activities, took a surprising turn when the interviewer, Devin Griffin, pivoted to Swift's recent culinary explorations. Hiddleston initially shared his own preferences for unwinding, stating, "I find myself on the sports highlights. It's football, or if there's been a tennis championship I've missed." He elaborated on his appreciation for sports journalism, noting, "There's all these sports journalists who write really beautifully about sport, and I love reading what they've written. It's kind of nerdy." This candid admission set the stage for the unexpected interjection regarding Swift. Griffin then introduced Swift's recent disclosure from another podcast appearance, where she mentioned being very deep in a sourdough obsession. The interviewer's attempt to connect this personal detail to Hiddleston's own interests, albeit loosely, caught the low-key star visibly off guard. Hiddleston's immediate reaction was one of momentary shock, a brief freeze that was quickly followed by laughter as he realized the interviewer was referring to Swift's new hobby rather than their past relationship. This reaction was observed by his co-star, Karen Gillan, who then chimed in with her own playful speculation. Gillan suggested that Swift's interest in sourdough might be an Easter egg for something, possibly related to the Super Bowl, referencing a TikTok theory that Swift's mention of sourdough could be a nod to the San Francisco 49ers mascot, Sourdough Sam. The theory further posited that this could hint at a Super Bowl performance in 2026, which is scheduled to be held in the 49ers home stadium. Hiddleston, playing along, remarked on Gillan's deep knowledge of the NFL, acknowledging the humorous and speculative nature of the conversation. The interview segment, highlighting Hiddleston's polite and composed demeanor when faced with a question about his ex-partner, resonated with fans and media alike. The exchange underscored the enduring public interest in the past relationships of high-profile celebrities, even years after their conclusion. Hiddleston's past comments about Swift have always been gracious, and this incident reinforced his reputation for maintaining a positive and respectful attitude, even when caught off guard. Audience impact. Social media platforms were abuzz with reactions to the clip, with many praising Hiddleston's composed response and finding humor in the interviewer's seemingly forgetful question. Fans also enjoyed Gillan's witty theories, further fueling speculation and entertainment. Don't go anywhere, because we're about to dive into a film that's redefining expectations and earning major praise. Next, we're exploring a cinematic adaptation that's being hailed as a life-affirming gem. A life-affirming gem, The Life of Chuck defies horror expectations. Mike Flanagan, a director renowned for his mastery of horror with acclaimed works like The Haunting of Hill House and chilling films such as Hush and Doctor Sleep, has once again partnered with Stephen King's literary universe. However, his latest project, The Life of Chuck, based on a novella from King's 2020 collection, If It Bleeds, marks a significant and refreshing departure from his signature genre. While Flanagan has a proven track record adapting King's darker tales, including Gerald's Game and Doctor Sleep, and has upcoming series based on Carrie and The Dark Tower, The Life of Chuck showcases a different facet of King's storytelling and Flanagan's directorial versatility. Contrary to what one might expect from Flanagan's filmography, The Life of Chuck is not a horror film. King, while celebrated for his supernatural and grotesque narratives like It and Pet Sematary, also possesses a rich catalog of stories that explore profound human experiences without relying on the macabre. Works such as The Green Mile, Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption, and The Body, which inspired Stand By Me, exemplify King's ability to craft compelling dramas. The Life of Chuck aligns with this aspect of his writing, delving into existential themes of life and mortality, yet it remains grounded in realism, presenting itself as a unique fantasy drama. The film's narrative structure is particularly noteworthy, split into 3 acts and told in reverse chronology, offering a distinctive viewing experience. The film's structure begins with Act 3, titled Thanks, Chuck, which is arguably its most impactful segment. In this act, as the world seemingly ends, the character Marty Anderson, portrayed by Chiwetel Ejiofor, repeatedly encounters Charles Chuck, Krantz's face accompanied by messages of gratitude. This otherworldly and intriguing opening immediately captivates the audience. The preceding acts, Buskers Forever and I Contain Multitudes, serve as the chronological setup for Chuck's life. While they may not possess the immediate dramatic punch of the opening, they are imbued with a palpable affection for the source material and its narrative. Tom Hiddleston takes on the role of the adult Chuck Krantz, with younger iterations of the character played by Jacob Tremblay, Benjamin Pajak, and Cody Flanagan. The film chronicles Chuck's life, including the early loss of his parents and his upbringing with his paternal grandparents, Albie Mark Hamill and Sarah Mia Sarah. A particularly memorable scene features Hiddleston's Chuck spontaneously dancing in the street to the rhythm of a busker's drumming, performed by Taylor Gordon. This moment is not only a highlight of the film, but also stands out as a remarkable cinematic instance in 2025, encapsulating a sense of liberation and self-expression. Hiddleston delivers a powerful performance throughout, with this particular scene showcasing his exceptional talent. While The Life of Chuck is a deeply moving film, it is not without its minor imperfections. Occasionally, the film leans towards being overly sentimental, though these instances are infrequent. For the most part, Flanagan masterfully navigates profound themes of life, death, and the cosmos without overwhelming the viewer. Despite some didactic moments, the film's messages are elegantly woven into a cohesive and beautiful narrative. The Life of Chuck may deviate from the horror-centric worlds typically associated with King and Flanagan, but it retains their distinctive magic, offering a Spielberg-esque sense of wonder that has become increasingly rare in contemporary cinema. The film is quintessentially Stephen King, capturing his characteristic style, nostalgia, peculiar charm, and American sensibilities, further enhanced by Nick Offerman's comforting voiceover. Flanagan's unique approach to bringing King's stories to the screen, regardless of genre, remains unparalleled. The verdict, The Life of Chuck, is a remarkable Stephen King adaptation from Mike Flanagan. Despite occasional saccharine moments, it ultimately delivers one of the year's most emotionally resonant and spiritually uplifting films. It balances moments of profound pessimism with an ultimately shining optimism, all while maintaining its dramatic realism. Audience impact. Critics and audiences have widely praised the film for its emotional depth, unique storytelling, and Hiddleston's performance. Many have noted its uplifting message and its ability to resonate on a personal level, marking it as a standout film of the year. But the cinematic journey doesn't end there. We're also exploring how beloved authors' works are being translated into captivating visual narratives. Next, we delve into the fascinating world of adaptation and how stories evolve from page to screen. Celebrating the ordinary, The Life of Chuck adaptation captures Stephen King's evolving vision. Stephen King, a titan of the literary world, recently expressed his enduring enthusiasm for seeing his works adapted for the screen, stating, "I'm still excited when somebody makes a movie out of something that I've done." This sentiment is particularly noteworthy given the sheer volume of his output. Over 90 novels and short stories have been adapted for film and television, with more projects currently in development. King's adaptability across genres and scales, from the sprawling epic of The Stand to the concise narrative of Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption, has made him a perennial favorite for filmmakers. Throughout his career, adaptations of King's work have spanned a wide spectrum of quality. For every critically acclaimed success like Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, there have been less successful interpretations, such as the 2024 adaptation of Salem's Lot, which, despite King's executive producer role, was noted for softening the source material's horror elements. This variability highlights the challenges inherent in translating a unique authorial voice and vision to a different medium. Currently, King is again serving as an executive producer for The Life of Chuck, a film based on one of the novellas from his 2020 collection, If It Bleeds. This project sees him collaborating with Mike Flanagan, a director who has established himself as a specialist in adapting King's work, having previously brought Gerald's Game and Dr. Sleep to the screen. Their collaboration on The Life of Chuck proves to be a thoughtful and successful endeavor, preserving King's distinctive sensibility while enriching the original novella through cinematic interpretation. The Life of Chuck exemplifies King's ongoing exploration of narrative experimentation, even late into his prolific career. The film adopts a three-act structure, presented in reverse chronological order, to explore pivotal moments in the seemingly ordinary life of Chuck Krantz, Tom Hiddleston, an everyman from New England. Flanagan's adaptation wisely retains this structural choice, which adds a unique layer to the storytelling. While Flanagan generally demonstrates a keen understanding of the source material, there are moments where his fidelity to King's prose is particularly evident. In certain passages, especially in the first act, the film utilizes extensive voiceover narration directly from the novella. While this preserves King's voice, it occasionally risks blurring the lines between adaptation and direct transcription, as King himself suggests adaptations should be two different things, like oranges and apples. However, Flanagan also excels at liberating the narrative from the confines of the page. He skillfully integrates characters who were limited to single segments in the novella, allowing them to appear in different parts of the film. Examples include a roller skating girl and Marty Anderson, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Chuck's high school English teacher, who are woven more seamlessly into the overall cinematic tapestry. Furthermore, Flanagan introduces new thematic elements and motifs to enrich the story. A notable instance is the allusion to the 19th century poet Walt Whitman in the third act. Whitman, a celebrated chronicler of everyday American life, serves as an animating presence that subtly prepares the audience for elements introduced in the first act. The film effectively utilizes its composite nature, blending visuals with other art forms like architecture, dance, and music. The score by the Newton Brothers provides narrative continuity and atmospheric unity, with the drumming in the middle section echoing a moment in the first act where Chuck's grandmother bangs a saucepan, demonstrating a subtle thematic resonance. Dance plays a central role in the film's experience. While the camera movement is generally smooth and editing stately, avoiding the jarring cuts common in some King adaptations, the middle section features vivid movement. In a scene reminiscent of classic Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers musicals, the adult Chuck sheds his professional persona and spontaneously dances, celebrating freedom and self-expression. This celebration of the ordinary, uncovering its inherent richness, is a hallmark of King's writing and Flanagan's cinematic interpretation. In an era where cinema often favors the fantastical and the superheroic, The Life of Chuck stands out for its commitment to portraying the profound beauty found in everyday life, a tradition deeply rooted in American literature. Audience impact. The film has been lauded for its sensitive portrayal of ordinary life, its unique narrative structure, and its heartfelt performances, resonating with audiences seeking meaningful and character-driven stories. Stay with us as we uncover another surprising celebrity interaction that's caught the internet's attention. Next, we're revisiting a moment where a familiar actor was unexpectedly asked about his famous ex. Tom Hiddleston's grace under fire, reacting to an ex's name on live radio. During a recent live radio interview, actor Tom Hiddleston found himself in an amusingly awkward situation when his ex-girlfriend, Taylor Swift, was unexpectedly mentioned by the host. The incident occurred on the UK's Heart Radio, where Hiddleston was appearing alongside his The Life of Chuck co-star, Karen Gillan. The conversation initially centered on their personal downtime, with Hiddleston sharing his fondness for reading about sports. "I find myself on the sports highlights," Hiddleston, 44, explained. "It's football, or if there's been a tennis championship I've missed. There's all these sports journalists who write really beautifully about sport, and I love reading what they've written. It's kind of nerdy." It was at this point that the radio host, Devin Griffin, interjected with a comment about Swift's own online browsing habits. Griffin brought up Swift's recent admission on the New Heights podcast about being deeply engrossed in sourdough recipe blogs. "We did just find out Taylor Swift, big fan of a sourdough recipe blog," Griffin said. "Very, very specific, but I see how you could get into that." Hiddleston appeared genuinely taken aback by the mention of his former partner, exhibiting a momentary pause before regaining his composure. His co-star, Karen Gillan, quickly stepped in to offer a lighthearted response. "That feels like an Easter egg for something," Gillan, 37, commented, humorously speculating that Swift's interest in sourdough might be connected to the Super Bowl, referencing a popular fan theory. This playful exchange highlighted the good rapport between the two actors and provided a moment of levity. The radio station itself acknowledged the humorous nature of the gaffe, sharing the clip on their TikTok page with the caption, "When you accidentally mention their ex." The clip quickly went viral, with viewers chiming in on Hiddleston's composed reaction and the host's apparent oversight. Swift and Hiddleston had a brief but highly publicized romance in 2016, dating for approximately 3 months. A source close to the couple at the time revealed that Swift was the one who initiated the breakup, citing Hiddleston's desire for a more public relationship than she was comfortable with. Despite her concerns about public scrutiny, Hiddleston reportedly did not fully heed her reservations. Both Hiddleston and Swift have since moved on in their personal lives. Swift has been in a public and happy relationship with NFL player Travis Kelce since the summer of 2023. Hiddleston, meanwhile, became engaged to actress Zawe Ashton in 2022. They welcomed their first child in the same year and are currently expecting their second. Audience impact. The clip of Hiddleston's reaction became a viral sensation, with many praising his dignified response and the overall good-natured handling of the unexpected question. It also reignited discussions about celebrity pasts and the nature of public relationships. And that brings us to the end of our main stories today. We'll be back with a quick recap and a full call to action, so stick around. And that's a wrap on today's essential updates. We saw Tom Hiddleston navigate an unexpected question about his past with Taylor Swift. We explored the critically acclaimed and surprisingly uplifting film, The Life of Chuck. We delved into how Stephen King's work continues to inspire cinematic innovation, and we revisited that memorable radio moment. Don't miss out on future deep dives and breaking news. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, leave a comment below with your thoughts, and follow us on all social platforms so you don't miss a single update. We'll see you next time.